Alrighty, cherubs. So today we're going to be talking more about Africa. We're going to be diving into the masks of Africa and what they look like and what they do. Okay. So again, our big themes for Africa: power, kingship, leadership, ceremony, and ritual. Like, what role do they play? What role do the ancestors play? What role does gender play in art? And how is the head become important as the seat of knowledge? So we're going to be looking at these four masks from across the continent today, and each one has a different function and comes from a different culture. Okay. But before we begin, I want you to watch this video clip. This is not a group that we're going to be looking at. This is the Dogon, but I want you to watch this performance and see what you can see. What can you tell about what's happening just by the masks? Okay, so take a close look at the masks and see what you see. All right, what kind of animals, beings are being portrayed by wearing these masks? Okay. When we look at masks, we need to ask ourselves, what is a performance? Okay. What is a performative artistic expression? And as we look across in the West, normally we separate art into two categories. We separate it into the visual arts, which is what we're talking about normally in this class, and the performing arts, where choral expressions, singing, dance, theater, instruments, those types of things. All right. So we separate them out and call them their own thing, the performing arts. But how do they incorporate elements of visual art as well? All right. How do they take into account the visual? I think theater and dance are the best at this, but even choral singing or just music in general, there is a visual element to it. Okay. That's why we have music videos. A performance as an artistic expression surrounds us. All right. We're not unfamiliar with that idea. And that's what a mask is. It is a piece of a performance. It's a part of a performance. And so when we look at a mask, and it's important to understand this, when we look at a mask, they are going to be detached from that performance. So when we see a static mask hanging in a museum, we can appreciate its aesthetic qualities, but this was never how it was intended to be seen. It was intended to be performed. Okay? So that's something very important to keep in mind, that while, yes, it has aesthetic qualities to it, and we can analyze those qualities, and they're going to be symbolic, they were meant to be danced. They were meant to be performed. It's like going to the Smithsonian and looking at Dorothy's ruby slippers. Okay, you weren't meant to look at them behind the glass. You were meant to look at them on Judy Garland's feet as she parades around Oz. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that distinction is clear. Okay, we use performative arts as a way to celebrate. Really, when we have an event, when there's pomp and circumstance, when we have something that's big, that's when we use a performative art. Okay, that's when we invite our musicians to sing or our performers to perform. Okay, when we have a celebration of sorts. So for each of these masks, I want you to ask yourself, who is making the mask? Who's doing it? Who does the mask represent? Who do they honor? And who performs the mask? Okay? Because they're all going to be different for each mask. And that's important. Okay? The last time I was in Seattle, I got to visit the art museum, and they had this great exhibit of all these different masks from across the continent with just a whole variety of masking traditions. Okay, and you can see that some represent animals and some represent people and some represent whole figures. And again, each is going to have, and these were coming from different tribes and different locations across the continent. Okay, and again, we can appreciate their aesthetic quality, but they weren't meant to be seen this way. All right, they're meant to be performed. So we're going to go first over here to Liberia and Sierra Leone on the coast, on the west coast of Africa. Okay. But first we need to ask ourselves, what does it mean to come of age? Okay. Coming of age usually means that you've crossed the threshold from childhood into adulthood, or less childhood. Okay. In the US, how do we come of age? What do we do to celebrate coming of age in here? And in Utah, how do we celebrate coming of age? That you're no longer a child. All right. Culturally, we've got the quinceañera. Okay. When you turn 15 in a Spanish-speaking culture, you have a big party to mark that you're no longer a little kid. Anglo-speaking, we've got Sweet 16, kind of the same thing. Jewish tradition has the bar or the bat mitzvah, where you become a son or a daughter of the law, and you have a big party, you have a celebration where you're no longer considered a child. All right. In Utah, we've got, when you become 12, and we've got this gradation of, if you're Mormon, then you receive the Aaronic priesthood. Also in Utah, if you go on a mission, that is a rite of passage. You're no longer a child, you become an adult. Okay. And in America generally, more broadly, we've got kind of this gradated system. There's nothing really in America that, as Americans, broadly speaking, we don't have one event that says, now you are a man or now you are a woman. We have a more gradated system. We become an adult in stages. All right. We become first an adult in America broadly when we turn 16 and we can drive. Or when we vote, when we turn 18, we become more of an adult. When we become 18, we also graduate from high school. That is a rite of passage. When we become 21 in the United States, you can buy alcohol and buy cigarettes, buy tobacco. So that you're more of an adult when you're 21. But the thing that signifies that you are a full-fledged adult in American society is when you turn 25 and you get to rent a car. So there we have it. There's our coming of age rites of passage in the United States. Okay. Now in Sierra Leone and in Liberia, the Mende people are going to come of age differently. All right. They're going to celebrate coming of age with the Bundu Mask. And here is a Bundu Mask. And here was the full costume of what would be worn with the Bundu Mask. All right. So you can see that these features, they have a broad forehead. They have these ripples, these rolls along the back. They have a crown piece, which, depending on the mask, is going to change. Large forehead, like I said, small eyes, delicate nose, tiny mouth. All right. Now, this is worn on top of the head. Okay. And so the person's face is actually going to be right about here-ish. All right. So it's worn on top of the head. It's not hollow. Now, the Bundu Mask by the Mende people is used to celebrate the coming of age of young women. When a girl becomes a woman, the Bundu Mask is danced in her honor. And it's part of this elaborate ceremony of coming of age, where you get taken out into the woods by the elders, by the older women. Okay, you get to scrub yourself and cover yourself in this white chalk. Okay, this white dirt, this white mud. And then you go into the river and you bathe and you scrub off all of this white mud that has dried. Okay, and then you emerge from the water and you're gleaming and you're black and glowing. Okay, and you can see how some of that gets represented here in the Bundu Mask, that it is this wood that is shiny and glossy, okay, that it is black. And the rolls on the neck represent the rippling of the water as you emerge, because it also gets connected to Sawe, the water spirit. Okay, that you become Sawe, the water spirit, as you become a woman. And as you break the water and you're coming out of the water and it's rippling, that's what's getting represented here as well. Now, a high forehead, you're highly intelligent. A woman has small mouth because they can keep their secrets, they can keep trust. Okay. This is some of the symbolism that's coming along with the Bundu Mask. Now, I got the chance several years ago to, the University of Utah was hosting a series of lectures for art history teachers. And and they would fly in professors, doctors, and experts in these fields from around the planet. And they would talk to us. And then we got the chance to go down and look at the collection of these items that the University of Utah has. And so we had this guy right here. Is Dr. David Reap. Okay, he is a professor on African studies and has spent a lot of time in Africa. And he came and spoke to us. And so and then we got to go down into the museum, the bowels, the guts of the museum, and then they showed us like their collection of these pieces that we were talking about. So this is the Bundu Mask by the Mende people that is housed at the University of Utah. So you can see how we've got the neck rolls, we've got the face, again, with the high forehead and the small mouth and the small eyes, and the crown piece is different here. Okay. It's really, really cool. So go ahead and give these guys a watch. Give the Khan Academy a watch. If you want to hear David Reap speak, I've posted that as well. He's really, really knowledgeable about these things. Some famous people of Mende descent in the United States history, famous Americans. We've got Dr. Martin Luther King was descended from the Mende people, as well as Marcus Garvey, the journalist. Okay. Now, it's important to know that the people that make masks are generally going to, and perform masks, are going to be part of a society, a secret society that, I mean, you can watch the performance, but you don't get to know the ins and the outs of the rituals, okay? Because you're not part of the society. And so for the Bundu mask, it is made by the Sand Society, all right? It's an all-girl society, and they're the ones who make the masks, and they prepare the ladies. These are the ones who take you out into the woods and teach you the secrets of how to be a woman, how to be an adult, okay? So we've got, again, our idealized female beauty. What is an idealized female beauty in Mende society? You're going to be intelligent. You're going to keep trust. You're going to be shiny and black and beautiful. Okay. The shape, the coiffure, the crown piece that I talked about, that is going to be revealed for each person in a dream. and that's going to vary from mask to mask. And so individuality between masks is emphasized. That becomes important. All right. Let's come back here for just a sec. So you can see again that these would be performed to honor the women, the girls who are becoming women. And it's important to note that these are the only masks that are made by and performed by women. Okay? And I think that's why AP picked these, is because they stand out as unique in that they're made by and performed by women, which is cool. Okay? Okay? Moving on. So that's the Bundu by the Mende. The Bundu Mask by the Mende people. And again, you need to know the tribe, you need to know the group that produces each work of art, and you're going to be tested on that. So have that in the back of your head. Now, moving on. In America, how do we honor people that have given birth to children? Do we? And hopefully you said yes, because we do. We have a holiday that's dedicated to women who have given birth to children, and we call it Mother's Day. Okay? And how do we celebrate Mother's Day? What are the things that we do for our moms on Mother's Day, universally and individually? How do we, because there's a lot of variation from place to place and from family to family, how we celebrate Mother's Day. What do we do? Some people have a thing that they do every year, and some people are more fly by the seat of their pants. Generally, in America, we buy flowers for mom. The price of flowers, if you've never noticed, goes up drastically around Mother's Day. My sister's a florist, and so I pay attention to those things. The price of flowers, we buy flowers for mom on Mother's Day. Other gifts are appreciated, but flowers are a must. For many families, especially with younger kids, breakfast in bed becomes a thing. Okay. So we have different markers and different ways that we celebrate women that have given birth. Now, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, so we're going to head south. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Chokwe peoples are going to celebrate and honor women that have given birth with the ProMask. Okay, so these are the Chokwe peoples, the ProMask, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Okay, now this looks completely different than the Bundu Mask. Okay, it's got this raffia tied up in this coiffure, into this hair. This ProMask is using these circles, and we're getting this great circle effect, that circle motif again and again throughout the mask. Again, the eyes are closed in this particular mask. What that is indicating is that there is a wisdom that comes with experience, that a woman who has given birth can internalize and is more experienced and wise and has this gone through an ordeal that sets them apart, okay, from women that have not had this experience, or from people that have not had this experience, that they can turn inwards and have this internal knowledge and wisdom. Okay, there are marks, indentations along the brow ridge, down into the cheeks as well. The earrings, okay, again, mimicking that circular pattern. Here are the examples from the, let me move this, the UMFA, the Utah Museum of Fine Arts. This is their examples of ProMasks. Okay, so you can see that again, the eyes closed, the circle motif is repeated. There's a symbol on the forehead, and so it slips over. So this is where your face is going to be. Your head fits right here. Okay, and this one is a little more incomplete. It's lacking some of that stuff. That's the raffia that's coming off of the back. Okay, now this particular mask, now you can't see it on this side, but on the back side, and when we watch the Khan Academy video, they're going to show us that this one is going to have some repair. You can see that it's been damaged through use, okay, and that it's been repaired, that it's this much loved artifact, okay. This is a different Chokwe mask at the UMFA, not a PWO, but a different Chokwe mask. Okay, just throwing that in there. So go ahead and give this guy a watch. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about the ProMask. And this is the performance of the ProMask. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The ProMask is danced by men to honor women. So they wear this female mask and adopt the persona of a woman to honor those that have given birth. Okay, so they're not. It's not performed by women. It's performed only by men to honor women who have given birth. Okay, so their movements are going to be long and elegant. Their movements are going to be stylized to mimic what a woman, the movements of a full. A woman that has given birth. Okay. So that's what this dance is honoring and doing, and that is how this mask is performed, and that's what it is used for. Okay. So it has these balanced features and these abstracted features, and it depicts the general female ancestor. Okay. And the males dance it, and they cover their identities. And they dress like women with braided hair. Okay. Again, they move like women to honor the women that have given birth. All right. The Chokwe, it should be noted, is a matriarchal society, which means that they give great emphasis as opposed to being a patriarchal society like in the West, where you have your dad's last name, etc., where we defer to men in the West. The Chokwe refer to women. Okay, that is the PWO by the Chokwe. All right. Now we're going to move on. The Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, the Cote d'Ivoire. And this is a portrait mask. This is the Emblo by the ballet. Emblo by the ballet. And here you can see, here's an example of an Emblo mask, and here you can see it being performed. So rather than raffia up at the top to conceal the rest of the body, they're going to be using fabrics to do so and incorporate raffia then down below in the rest of the costume. Now, the Emblo mask is different. You can see how it's elongated, and it has these features that are elongated and stylized. And it's also, if you notice, now there's some very subtle asymmetries in this, which are going to be considered beautiful for the ballet. Okay, a slight asymmetry is going to be considered beautiful. So, for example, you can see that the triangles are placed slightly they're not perfectly aligned, that they're slightly askew. And again, this is being done on purpose, that the ears are shaped a little bit differently. Okay, this is done on purpose to make it beautiful. All right, we've got this comb piece up at the top, and you can see in this one that right here gets wrapped in fabrics and it has things hanging off of it as additional pieces hanging off of it as well. Now, the Emblo mask is danced to honor a member of a performing troupe who's reached advanced years. Okay, so this is only performed for someone, again, part of a performing group, a performing troupe of dancers and singers who has reached a certain age. Okay, the mask is individualized to be a soul portrait of that person. Okay, and then they receive the mask afterwards as a gift to honor them. All right. So, for example, this mask that we're looking at is done as a portrait of this woman. Okay. Now, again, it's not a physical likeness; it's a soul likeness. It's a likeness of her inner self. Okay. So this mask was done to was made and is performed in her honor. All right. And David Reap is going to talk to us more about that. There is a ballet dance. I couldn't find the Emblo mask being danced. Okay. But this is an example of a ballet dance, not the Emblo mask. I apologize. Okay. So again, this one honors women as well, not men, but women. And it is for actors in this performing troupe who have reached a great age. Okay. The embellishments are just aesthetic. Again, we've got a quiet face with these broad features and this straight columnar nose. Okay. And these pronounced eye sockets. So again, the woman receives her mask as a gift, and it's their soul double. Okay. You don't ask for the mask to be made. You don't say, "Oh, I'm 65. Hey, where's my mask?" It's made for you by admirers. It's not requested by you. Okay. Portraits of real people, of individual people, become rare in African art, and so that's why the embleau by the ballet is significant, because it's in one of those examples in which it is representing a specific person, as opposed to the po and the chokwe. Well, they are danced and performed to honor certain people for certain events. They're not representing that person per se. They get reused, whereas the embleau does not. Okay. Last mask. Okay, but before we get there, think of what symbols do we use in our everyday life. Okay, what symbols do we incorporate into our world? And how do we use animals in our world to symbolize things? How do we symbolize ourselves with animals? And why do we do that? Because, yeah, why do we do that? Okay. How do we associate ourselves with animals? We use them as mascots. Okay. Why? To take on the why are we the warriors? Warrior's not an animal at Taylorsville, but we use the warrior as a symbol of our prowess, as our ability to channel a mascot is to channel the abilities of that, to summon the abilities in a very abstract way of our mascot so that we can perform athletically. Okay, that's what a mascot's for. It's to invoke the spirit of that thing when we perform athletically. We get animal tattoos. Okay, so we mark our bodies with animals that we find significant. We associate ourselves with the zodiac. I am an Aries, which is a ram. Okay, in the Chinese calendar, I'm a snake. So I'm a snake Aries. you know, we associate ourselves, each animal, each year has, each month has an animal associated with it that has certain characteristics, and we ascribe them to. Now, whether or not you put any stock into it, it is a thing that we do in our culture. We take quizzes and see which animal we belong to, which house we belong to. For, Harry Potter. Personally, I am actually all of them. So this is the result of my quiz that I took once, that I am all of them. I am equally brave, cunning, intelligent, and kind. So, and yeah, so it's just kind of funny. But we mark ourselves with animals because, again, animals we associate with certain characteristics. Okay, and this is a universal human trait. We've always done this. In Cameroon, they're going to perform and create the akka elephant mask. Okay. Now, the akka is created by the Bamaliki. The akka elephant mask is performed and created by the Bamaliki. Okay. And it's performed and created by, again, a secret society. And this is the cote society. And the cote society has permission by the king to create and use the symbol of the elephant. Okay? The elephant for the Bamaliki is a royal animal. It is majestic, it is regal, it is powerful. All right? And so it's a royal symbol. But this particular group, the Kawosi Society, has permission to adorn themselves like elephants to honor the king. Okay? So the dance is performed in honor of the royalty, in honor of the king. So you can see that it's beaded. It's this heavily beaded mask, all right, that hangs down. And this particular one has a human face, but not all of them do. And you can see that not all of them do have that human face. Some are more elephantine. And as we're going to watch a video clip about that shows a brief segment of the akka being performed, okay, in procession. Then you can see there's a variety of them, and some it's just like fabric, and some others are heavily beaded like this. Okay, so you can see that you've got these great triangle shapes, and which are meant to mimic the patternings of other animals. And you'll see that, and you can kind of see it here in this image, that they are wearing the skins of other animals. The zebra and the leopard are going to be worn as well. Okay, and so that these also are royal symbols that can be performed and used by the Kawosi Society. The hats are going to be very tall, okay, as part of this performance. They're going to be carrying staffs with feathers and with fur from different animals, okay, that you're going to see. And I got to see one in Seattle. It's akka elephant mask. All right. Again, a royal symbol made by the Bamaliki and the Kawose Society within the Bamaliki to honor the king, because the elephant is a royal symbol. So this one will give us some more information about this particular mask, and this one is the performance of the mask. It's queued up in Canvas. If you just click the link in Canvas, make sure that you click the link, the blue link, because it's queued up to the right spot, which is like, it says 20, like I think a 27-minute video. It's queued up to the right spot so you can see them perform the elephant dance. Okay. So again, it's part of a much larger costume. And this particular one that AP picked out has a human face, though not all of them do. And so again, the Cote society they wear the masks, and it's worn for the elephant dance and important ceremonies, again, to honor the royalty. It fits over the head. It's worn over the head and lays down the front as well as the back. Again, that beadwork, symbolic of power, spots of the leopard, and has the long trunk and the large ears of the elephant. So only important people wear the akka, right? Only people in the Cote society, who are not just anybody, get to perform this. All right. And that is it. Those are our masks for today. I hope that this felt familiar. I hope that while these forms are different to us in the West, I hope you're able to appreciate the place from which they're coming, so that we can draw commonalities and similarities between your life experience and the life experience of these people that you've never met and these societies that you've never encountered. And I hope that you're able to draw upon your own life experience and see the common humanity that created these items. Think back to the other masks that we've looked at so far, the eagle transformation mask, the Olmec mask. Okay, think back, and then we're going to, as we move on, we're going to see further masks as well. And again, just remember that they're meant to be performed, they're meant to be danced, and not meant to be seen in this static way. All right, so those are our masks for Africa, and I hope you've picked something new. Please know them and know the people who created them. So we've got the Bundu by the Mende, the Po by the Chokwe, the akka by the Bamaliki, and the Emblo by the Baule. All right. So know them, and we'll have a quiz on them next time.